Welcome to Dom Solo, everybody. I am your host, Dom Martino, and sitting here with me is Mr. Josh Richards. Josh, how you doing?
Doing all right, man. How about you?
Pretty well. Pretty well, I guess. I don't know.
Double
Uh,
pretty.
we just watched Mandalorian Chapter 13, The Jedi. I guess it's Season 2, Episode 5. So we're going to break that down. But guys, before we get started, I want to throw out the big spoiler warning for everybody. This is going to be in-depth spoilers for you. And also, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this with your friends, leave some feedback in the comment section. But here we go. All right, so this episode, I'll admit I knew some stuff about it before going into it. I had some leaks, and they were definitely accurate for the most part. But that said, there was a lot of this that I wasn't expecting. So, my overall thoughts on the episode are I'm still processing a lot of it. I certainly wasn't ready for a lot of it. There's definitely a lot that I loved, for sure. I am very interested to see how this goes over with more casual viewers, because I don't feel like it's definitely. I definitely don't feel like it's made to cater toward them, but on some level, it kind of is. And then I'm also interested to see how people feel about it in general. Obviously, Ahsoka Tano shows up. This is her first foray into live action form. Rosario Dawson is playing her, so I'm interested to see how a lot of the fans look at that and feel about the translation over to live action because personally, it took me a second. I'm not gonna lie to you. Grew on me throughout. But anyway, Josh, how'd you feel about the episode just overall?
No, it was a lot packed into this episode. Um, Seeing Ahsoka on the live action was like when she was on screen, I was like, man, this character's come so far
Yeah,
for like being the annoying Snips character that nobody liked, now being like fan favorite baked in
yeah,
to the whole mythos.
yeah.
Uh, it was weird not hearing the normal voice for Ahsoka, but like I got used to it.
Mm-hmm.
As Rosie Dawson's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, that's one thing I want to say too, because make no mistake about it. I think Rosario Dawson did a phenomenal job playing the character, like without a doubt. Like it just took me a second. You were saying the voice. I mean, is like it's different. So you're like, that's not Ahsoka Tano. But then when she talks more and she says things that are more like Ahsoka, but in this sort of Rosario Dawson format, if you will, it really she starts to make the character her own, but really feel like a more matured and older version of the character. So I actually think I think knowing seeing the direction now that they took with Ahsoka and that they're taking. I think it made a lot of sense to cast Rosario Dawson in the role because like a lot of people were like pretty gun ho about Ashley Eckstein being the live action version, and like I think there's a lot. I think it's still going to be kind of split until we see more of the character in live action. But for me, I think there's a lot of people that are going to be pretty okay with Rosario Dawson once they see the direction that they take with her. And speaking of direction, right here in the beginning, let's start this out because I was not expecting the shit to hit the fan so soon. Like Ahsoka just came in and started messing people up, but it
Oh,
made a lot
the
of
low key
sense.
slasher scene.
Right. It was like I got the vibes of Rogue One at the end there when Vader was going through people. I was like, okay, so this is kind of what I was meaning too when I was like, it makes sense to cast Rosario Dawson. They're clearly wanting to go a darker route with the character. When she shows up on screen, she is a threat to any villain that is that crosses her path. I mean, that's pretty obvious. I mean, it definitely went a little bit more edgy. But did you enjoy the opening with her and the magistrate, which is something I knew was going to be in this episode. I just didn't know to what degree. But
Oh yeah, no, I thought it was a cool intro. Was her, yeah, like I said, it's a way we've never seen her before.
mm-hmm.
We got glimpses in the Ahsoka book of her being like that,
Yeah,
but to see translated live action on screen,
yeah.
it worked out pretty well for me.
Yeah, that's something. One other thing I wanted to mention is Dave Filoni directed this obviously, and far improved I think as a live action director this time around. I definitely see that he's Learned a lot, it seems like, just from working with a ton of other creators in the prior season, and like it just seems like he's observed and learned a lot. I was very surprised that he pulled off these lightsaber moments in this episode, especially toward the end. And it's something I wanted to ask you too, because you and I were so like, oh, they can't go, they can't go with the Force. Like they can't like go so deep into the Force, but they really seem to do so in this episode. And here's where I'm torn. I'm like, well, on one end, I don't really care. Like I feel like now that I've seen how they've done it, it doesn't really matter to me. On the other hand, I'm like, okay, we got this episode, now pump the brakes. I don't know, how are you feeling about all that? Like now that we've kind of seen how they're gonna utilize that, the lore in this. And
I think it fit fine with this episode because you have one of the last remaining
yeah,
Jedi's. The child's been using the Force since episode one. You think he used it in? It was one or two, and
yeah, two, I think.
like I don't know. I thought it didn't feel too jarring from the rest of the series.
No,
I don't want it to be because like my main problem with current Star Wars is they always introduce a new ability to service the plot,
yeah,
and I don't want that to show up in this.
yeah.
Um, but this show kind of gave me the middle finger for what I said last week.
Yeah, me too. That's how I'm feeling. So on one end, I'm like, well, they did it and it worked. It worked in the
Because
series.
they're because I was like, oh, I don't want any other Star Wars characters, and they tease something, and I'm like, God bless
Oh,
it.
that too. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I was
That,
like, okay, cool.
yeah, we'll get into that, but that I knew was coming. Not gonna lie to you. And I texted you earlier this week and was like, oh,
Yeah,
you're gonna be a happy camper because I
I
know
assumed it's
that's
gonna be
one of
one
your.
of two things.
All right. Well, we'll talk about that in a second. Um, so yeah, so we have Mando, and this episode really wastes no time. That's one of the things I liked about it. Like, it's very to the point. Right after this opening, it's so to the point. I mean, even the opening is to the point because it's introducing the magistrate and how she's going to play a role in this. A villain who I actually really enjoyed for the small amount of screen time that she had in this episode. I thought was very cool. So they land on this planet. I can't remember what Bo-Katan said the name of this planet was. I said it in one of my previous breakdowns, but I can't remember now. Forest Moon of something or other. But the other thing about this is like when I pictured him going to like a forest moon of something, I'm thinking Endor, right? Like this looks nothing like Endor. This is a completely original looking planet. So I was very happy about that. Like they could have easily done like an Endor Ajan Kloss ripoff, and it's completely its own planet. It doesn't look like anything else we've seen before in Star Wars. So maybe Mustafar is like the closest planet I could think of to compare to it, but even then, it doesn't really look like Mustafar either. It looks like completely its own thing. So Mando and the child, or hey, let's just call them Din Djarin and Grogu now, I guess. They arrive on the planets, and so they're just walking through. The guy they run to a gentleman who asks if he's a hunter, and he says yeah. I think he asked him if he's guild or something like that. He's like, last time I checked, and anyway, so then he opens the gates, lets him in. Then the Mando meets the magistrate, who recognizes right off the bat he's a Mandalorian, says that there's a Jedi out there. She's a threat to her. I want you to go after this Jedi. Should be easy for you because you're a Mandalorian. Um, by the way, I want to get into this too, and we'll talk about it. I didn't realize exactly how strong Beskar was until this
Yeah,
episode. But we'll talk about that in a second. So he's like, so she kind of shows him she has some Beskar for him if he completes the task, and we don't really know. One of the things I liked about it is we don't know where Mando's really at right now, because on one end it's like, yeah, he might want that Beskar. On the other hand, he needs to talk to this Jedi. So we're like, well, which way is he gonna go here? So he's like, where can I find this Jedi? walks out into the woods. I like that this is all kind of set up and played like a horror movie. Again, it's like Ahsoka's like this horror movie icon here, and which is really really kind of funny because we hardcore fans are going to know she's obviously a good guy, and it's just it was awesome though to see her just played out this way. Mando's looking around. She comes up and starts hitting them with the sabers, and like I was saying, nothing's happening to the Beskar, and I really didn't realize it was that strong. Because I don't think we've ever seen anything like it. The shot, though, real quick too. The other thing I want to throw out, the shot where he lights her her little poncho on fire, and she does that flip. That was sick. I mean, all this stuff looked really cool. But what'd you think of this, Josh? You go ahead.
Yeah, no, I didn't know how strong that armor was supposed to be lore wise because I was recently talking to my brother about it. It's like, is his armor supposed to be higher than Bo-Katan's and like strength wise?
Right?
Because in that episode he ran in and got all shot up and didn't phase him.
No,
So that's supposed to be ancient armor, right?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
And the Jedi is an ancient enemy, so maybe that's what that armor is mainly meant for, is to fight off the lightsabers.
It's a good point. Yeah, it's a good point. I was surprised.
Yeah, no,
I
I was
just
too. It's the
yeah
first time you've ever seen that I recall.
yeah because
But something not being phased.
yeah, in my mind, when she's telling him to go get this Jedi, I'm like, how in the heck is he supposed to do that? She hits him with the sabers, and he's done. Like, and apparently not. I was wrong. But I'm okay with it. I mean,
Yeah, no, I thought it was cool.
yeah, it was nice to see them duke it out, and yeah, just quite the surprise. Then he tells her, Bo-Katan sent me. We need to talk. I like the line. I hope it's about him. I thought that was very Ahsoka of her. And then she's looking at him, and then we get this reveal that comes way out of left field, which is Grogu can feel my thoughts, and it really makes you sit back like Grogu, and it's really thrown out there. I had heard that we were going to find out the child's name. I didn't necessarily know it was going to be Grogu.
Oh,
That
it was a very
was
predictable name.
and just the way they threw it. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought it was going to be. Yeah,
It's like, oh, clearly he's a Grogu.
uh, yeah, I thought he looked more like a Carlos too, bud. But so the thing is this is even more surprises just kind of start to come when you find out that he was on Coruscant and raised in the Jedi Temple, which I think it's cool they're bringing in these connections. But he was trained as a Jedi. My question is like, how long was he trained as a Jedi though? Like, it's kind of odd to me that I don't know if it's necessarily a gripe I have with the story. It's just it makes sense on one end, but on the other end, it's like I have so many questions. I guess is what I'm
Yeah,
getting
it just
at.
opens more questions.
Right, like
You got like 2 answers and 50 more questions.
that's true. It's like, but luckily this is a TV series and we have time to answer them all. But my questions are like, okay, who was this Jedi? Was he anybody significant? I feel like because of what they like to do with this show, it's gonna be somebody we've seen before. It's possible. Was it Yoda? I mean, it could have been.
He reacted when he heard Yoda too.
Yeah, she said that was a cool little name drop. I haven't seen this species since Master Yoda. I think a lot of the fans are really gonna dig that. Yeah, I bet I really enjoyed this for the most part, and then them training with the pebble was kind of a cool little sequence. The fact that Mando was only able to connect with them, and she's like, um, you know, I can't train him. I really wish she would have mentioned at some point to Mando that she had actually left the Jedi Order at one point in time. It just would have helped. I think the more not to get too expositional, but I think it would have helped the newer fans kind of understand her place a little bit better. Other than I just can't train him because you know.
I was waiting for that line drop to happen. Her like, yeah, but I'm not a Jedi or something along the lines
Right.
of that.
Yeah, that's one of the things I think a lot of people need to understand, and I think that it really informs her decision not to train this child more than anything. But yeah, did you like the training stuff? Did you like the conversational stuff? I guess leading up to this point, and um,
Yeah, I think the training was a cool little sequence, and it builds more on the relationship between Gooby Gone and Din Din.
Kubi got it.
And I enjoyed the whole sequence. It opens way more questions though about
Yeah,
who stashed him away. Like,
yeah, he was
how do
hidden
you train
away.
him? That was another question. Does he have a slightly tinier lightsaber?
Yeah,
Like,
I'm.
there's so many sequences of him being trained that just kind of made me laugh when I thought about him.
Yeah, I mean, I could theorize and speculate. It's just, yeah, that's true. Like that was the other thing. I was thinking about a lightsaber too, like a mini one, and like Yoda used a smaller one, so it's not incredibly far fetched. But
It's like a baby rattle.
yeah,
Also, that he knew
it's
to cut off the Force. Another
yeah,
thing.
yeah, that's odd to me. I don't know. I just have a lot of questions. If it gets explained well, then I'm okay with it. I just a lot of questions, I guess, about this kid. They really are taking this season, and they are opening up like 50 new questions per episode. It feels like, and we'll get there. I guess it's just a matter of time. I want to know where this is going too. The end of the season. Are we gonna follow up on this Boba Fett thing at the end? Because the finale's got to go out with the bang. Are we gonna do the Boba Fett thing? Are we gonna do the Jedi Temple thing now? Are we gonna do the? Are we gonna do more Ahsoka? Are we gonna do? I don't know. I mean, there's a billion things we can do. Are we gonna get? Are we gonna get Thrawn? At the end. Who knows? I'm really curious as to where this goes. Yeah, I wanted to talk about the Jedi Temple thing in a second too, but let's talk about this action sequence that follows up after. So she tells Mando says that he can help her with the magistrate if she trains the kid, which he really gets screwed over on this deal. But she agrees to let him help. I thought the stuff here was unbelievable. It was really incredible lightsaber stuff. Like it was done really well. I think that this stuff was even better than the stuff we got in the opening. I mean, it felt very Equalizer meets Star Wars. She's kind of taking people out one by one as opposed to. There's a couple points where she slaughters multiple at a time, but it's just like she's kind of taking them out one by one as opposed to what we're usually seeing, which is like Jedi just going ham on people, and that's what I really enjoyed here. And the other part of it was, I think that that's what makes me enjoy this more in this show is they really strip it down. They don't just show the things that we're used to seeing. But I don't know. Did you enjoy the action sequence? I guess up until the point she gets to the magistrate. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it was a fine little action sequence. I had no gripes or complaints about it.
no,
Like, it was cool.
yeah,
It,
yeah.
some areas I'm
Good.
like, why does Den really need to be there? She's kind of got this handled.
That's what I was thinking too, in a way. Um, it's he didn't need to be there. He helped somewhat, but
He kind of helped with the village, I guess.
yeah,
He was taking care of that.
yeah. Um, I mean, I guess it got the job done quicker, if anything, with him being there, so it was more convenient. But yeah, so the that I thought the way the white lightsabers are so cool. They did a great job on those too.
They're about to release the Black Series for
I
those.
know I saw. I'm considering getting them. Uh, they're pretty cool,
The
man.
super off topic, but the Revan ones are on a Black Friday sale right now at GameStop for like 150, I think.
Nice,
Oh, yeah.
nice. That's something I'd consider too. I really like those Revan ones. Seen a lot of people have been getting them too, and yeah, they look cool.
Yep.
But the other thing, so we're moving into the magistrate, and I tell you, man, the first thing I thought of here is samurai movie. I mean, it is. This is like them taking inspiration from a bunch of old samurai films and just incorporating it here. If anybody has not seen the movie Hero, with Jet Li, that this is like straight out of that. Like it really is. I loved it. I loved it so much. It wasn't like the way they were kind of cutting back and forth with what Mando was doing in this scene. Was pretty awesome. I thought the thing was funny because you could just hear them going at it with one another. The guy that was like, "Oh, who do you think's gonna win?" Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. Um, so that was I don't know, cut together really well, and it was very samurai. It was very really gave us justice for the way we wanted to see Ahsoka. I mean, there was little nods to duels we'd seen in the past too, with her just um, kind of taking off that poncho before the duel. I thought that was all amazing. But yeah, really
Did
gave.
you notice her lightsaber? Did you notice her lightsaber hit the poncho and hit the ground?
Oh, did it? No, I did
Yeah,
not.
I know it's like at the edge of it, like clipped the poncho.
I'll look for that. I'll look for that. Um, one of the biggest info drops though that we get here is, I know that you were excited about this one. Was she asked where's her master, and then like later it becomes where's I think she says Grand Admiral Thrawn, does she not?
Yeah, she
Yeah,
full name drops it. Yeah.
yeah. So that was. I knew this was coming. I really did. I was like Josh is gonna be pretty stoked about this Thrawn being. I don't know if it's your absolute favorite. I know it's one of your favorite
Oh no,
characters.
he's my favorite Star Wars character.
Okay, so your favorite Star Wars character has been name dropped, but
You know, last week I said I don't want any of these characters to show up, and it's like, here you go, have fun with that. So,
yeah,
Dave, I know
but
you're listening, Dave.
you probably weren't counting on Thrawn though. But
No,
yeah,
I wasn't.
uh,
But I'm going to talk to Dave because I know Dave's watching right now. Mr. Dave Filoni Baloney, listen. Where is he? Where's he at? I want my answers. I want it now.
oh brother, I mean I can't wait to see what happens here. It's gonna be something. But what did you think of the final duel with Ahsoka and then the name drop? I guess. I mean, you kind of dove.
So
into
the
that
final
a little
duel kind of got wiped out of memory after the name drop. Like I just didn't care about anything else after that.
Yeah.
I was like, okay,
Yeah.
let's get that answer.
I guess here's a better question. Do you feel like they did Ahsoka right by the end of it?
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Okay. Me too.
Do you think she's gonna be in the show more, or do you think she's gonna be her own thing? Because
I
that's a pretty big name actress just to have one episode for.
I don't think she'll be in the rest of the season. I think
Yeah, I
that
don't
she's
think
going to
so,
show up. She might get her own show. I've heard rumors about that. That's nothing's been confirmed, obviously, but it's heavily rumored. I think she might get her own show. It's very possible at this point. If not, then she's going to have to show up next season, and they're going to follow up on all this. But yeah, because I mean, I want to see more Rosario Dawson in this character. I mean, it's clear to me they are going to have her one way or the other because they didn't really give her enough time to really, I don't think, win everybody over. I'm won over, but I don't know that everybody's going to be won over on her and Ahsoka. She was very cool and she did a good job, and I love the. I mean, it really looked. It was accurate. It was everything about the character was very accurate. I was very surprised at how accurate it actually all was. They did a good job though. So at the end though, yeah. So I'm curious about this Thrawn stuff though. Just it's that's another live action translation we're gonna have to be nervous about. I'm curious about what actor they're gonna get to play him because
I mean, they could just get Lars Mikkelsen.
they could get Lars Mikkelsen. I think that would probably be the best way to go. But if they don't, and they might not, I am still very curious as to what actor they're gonna get. So this ending, Ahsoka's she's like, no, I'm pretty much I'm altering the deal. This is something a lot of our Star Wars characters like to do. She's not gonna help him train the child, but she says there's still hope. Tells him about this Jedi temple. You put him at the top there, and he can reach out through the Force. If another Jedi feels him through the Force, they may come and they may answer the call essentially. So yeah, she's like, there's not a lot of Jedi left, which I like because she's definitely establishing that again for fans that aren't as big on or as privy on kind of where we're at here. But my thinking is I don't think that they're gonna bring in a Luke Skywalker if anybody answers the call. I can only speculate that it would be Ezra if he's still alive. That would
because Sabine's got to be somewhere right now. Because last time we saw Ahsoka, her and Sabine were going to go find Ezra and Thrawn.
Yeah.
Now we know Thrawn's still running around somewhere.
Yeah.
Is Ezra alive?
Yeah, I'm thinking if he uses the Force and a Jedi's gonna come answer his call, so to speak, it's got to be Ezra. I don't think Luke Skywalker is gonna waste his time. No offense, I just don't.
Yeah.
And like, I really feel like it would have to be Ezra, and I don't want them to introduce a new Jedi that we don't know about. I mean, it would be really, that would be like a little too much, I think, at this point, you know, because I like the idea that in this time period we are limited on the amount of Jedi that are around, you know.
When does that Star Wars game take place?
Fallen Order? It
Yeah,
could be Cal Kestis.
I can see that because that
It
one they don't
could
need to
be
cast
Cal
anybody for.
Kestis. That takes place prior to. Excuse me, that's right after Order 66. But that doesn't mean he's not still alive. He's pretty young in
Yeah.
that game, so. It could be Cal Kestis. It's a thought. Obviously, we don't know his fate, pending that second game for Jedi Fallen Order. But yeah, man, it could be him. I wonder if we're gonna actually get to the temple in this season. That's
I think next week's gonna be Bill Burr.
okay. Yeah,
Isn't he supposed to show up this season?
I heard he was. Yeah, I hope he does. I really liked
Yeah,
Bill
because
Burr
I heard
that
he
first time
was,
around.
but I wasn't too sure if that was a rumor or actual fact or
Yeah.
facts.
I think at this point, I think it's pretty clear to me that I bet you Robert Rodriguez directs the finale, whatever it's going to be, just because he's the biggest name they have, you know, for directing wise.
Oh, yeah.
Probably be Rick Famuyiwa next week, who did the first Bill Burr episode. We'll see what happens. I'm not really sure. Maybe it's out. Maybe that info's out there. I'm not going to do any more digging. I don't want any more spoilers. I wanted to know what was going to happen with Ahsoka. Curiosity got the better of me, so I did some snooping around. That's how I got the leaks for this episode. But other than that, I don't want to know anymore. I'm going to go in blind, I think, for the rest of this. But yeah, okay, so overall, yeah, great episode. I thought Ahsoka, they did it right. I'm happy about that. I'm excited to see a lot of casual fans that have not really had an experience with Ahsoka to have this experience, and I'm interested to see how they interpret Ahsoka. Are they going to love her as much as we did? You know, I don't know that you necessarily can, not having that time with her in the Clone Wars and Rebels, but yeah, I don't know how they're going to feel about it. How do you think that people are going to take her? You think that they're going to be high on her right now, or you think it's going to take time?
I'm about to have an interesting experience because my dad hasn't watched Mandalorian yet, and he's about to start it.
Oh,
And I know he knows nothing about Ahsoka.
cool.
So I'm curious how he's going to take her. I think he's going to really like the character a lot because he's going to like the dual blades.
Yeah,
So yeah, I will get to see that firsthand.
that's awesome.
But I don't know. I don't know honestly how people are going to take her
Yeah,
that aren't fans. Like
right.
I see a lot of people just not caring, or because they did set up a lot of cool action sequences with her.
Yeah,
Because this whole show's been built around new characters that we don't care about.
yeah,
So they could just view her like that.
yeah. It's
Like,
true.
Cara Dune didn't have a history, but people liked her anyways.
No, it's true. I mean, you and I, we know a lot of this stuff back and forth. It's important to remember that, I mean, like, I had a lot of people asking me who the hell Bo-Katan was, you know,
Yeah.
like they were really curious about that, or if Cobb Vanth was, you know, a part of anything. And it's like, yeah, he was in the Aftermath novels walking around with Boba Fett's armor on, so it made sense. And like, there's a lot of people that want these characters back, so I really do hope that, you know, they feel the same about Ahsoka. I'd imagine, man. I mean, she's got the white lightsabers and, you know, all that, so it's got to be appealing to some new casual fans, I would think. But
Yeah, plus we got a really focused, like, Samurai-esque duel with her.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It was amazing. It was very amazing. I hope people love her as much as we've grown to love her. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. But hey, guys, listen, don't want to spend too much time here on this, but this was pretty much the breakdown of chapter 13. Did I miss anything at the end there? I think I caught it all.
There's one thing we kind of skimmed over, which is forgivable.
Oh no, go ahead.
We got a really good character moment with Den and Goobigon, where he's saying like, "Wake up, it's time to say goodbye," and he's holding him.
Oh yeah,
You got,
that
like
was
that father-son kind of bond moment.
yeah, that was super sweet. I was really touched there when that happened. I thought that was very nice. You're right.
Yeah, I thought that was a real genuine, like, honest moment for that character.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that good call there. I forgot about that till you said it, and yeah, that was one of the nicer moments of the episode. I'm excited. I just want to watch it again. I think
Yeah.
it's Yeah, it was all incredible stuff for the most part. I don't know. I'm hesitant, man. I think last week's was still my favorite of the series. Um, but this one's getting pretty close. I'm gonna have to really weigh it out, man. I gotta process it more. I gotta watch it again. It was so cool to see Ahsoka and them doing it right. I mean, I know it's like the easy thing to say. It's like, well, this one was my favorite because Ahsoka was in it. But seriously, they did her so well. And I think Rosario Dawson played her incredibly well. And I want to see more of it. And that's,
And plus, we grew up with this character because we were in middle school when she dropped.
yeah.
Like to
Yeah.
see her come this far.
Yeah, really, though. It's true. Yeah, I mean, that was the first time I saw that Clone Wars movie. It was right around then. And she was not, she hadn't won me over at that point, that character.
Yeah.
And then here we are. You're right. And this is like, I think they really introduced her in the best possible way. We know Dave was never going to do this character wrong, not intentionally anyway, but I think he went above and beyond in terms of how he wanted to show her. And
Yeah, I
yeah,
just mainly worried about that character and how it would transfer over to live action.
yeah, me too. And again, it was jarring at first, but like once you got into it, you were like, yeah, I love this. I want to see more of it. So yeah, definitely. Yeah, so guys, thank you for joining. Josh, I know you typically don't have anything you want to plug. But has that changed any, or can we
Watch True Detective season 1. That's pretty good. I
want
just finished that this morning.
wonderful. Well, I will do that actually. As soon as I get around to it, can get around. I got to do Mr. Robot too, I know.
Oh yeah, no, Mr. Robot's a must.
Yeah, I'll get there.
Amazon Prime season 1 through 4. Go check it out.
Yeah, I'm flying through Shameless pretty quickly, Josh. So I think I'll get to Mr. Robot here pretty soon.
Shameless is good. It's just I hit a wall with it.
Fair enough.
A lot of repeating themes show up. I'm like, I'm kind of good for it now.
That's how I'm feeling about it too. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe I'll just stop for a minute, watch Mr. Robot, go back to Shameless later. Anyway, guys, so thank you for joining. I've been Don Martino once again. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this with your friends, leave some feedback in the comment section, and I'll also be leaving my social media in the description below, so be sure to follow me there. Thank you, Josh, for joining.
Yeah, thanks for having me again, man.
Not a problem. It's been fun. And thank you guys for joining, most importantly. And we will see you guys next week. All right. Bye-bye. May the force be with you.
Always.